Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, gradually opening its eyelids from the blindness of insurgency. Your first step in town, a ship-shaped roundabout anchored. Looking over your shoulders, small-scale businesses, wondering if the wares sold here were offloaded from the ship. But steps into the stories of these resilient people are horrible and heartbreaking testimonies.
A case study and a role model is Gujba local government, a town, the non-state armed group have stayed there for almost 2 years. After liberation of the town, almost 80% of the town has been burned down. When His Excellency came on board, road construction was immediately started. Hospitals were reconstructed, equipments were provided, electrification was done, schools were constructed and public buildings were constructed, and then the next aspect is how to empower the people and the economy.
For a taste of the pills they have swallowed within those dark periods, we traveled out of Damaturu to Kukareta, a small town with a big heart.
Kukareta is a community that has opened its arms and embraced the displaced as a result of insurgency. Droves of them come to this community where the leader of this community embraced them and give them places to live. So far, they have another generation of their people who in fact don't even know where they come from except this place, Kukareta, and only God knows what each one of them may become in the near future.
The man who opened the gate of the small town to tens of thousands of people running away from the bites of insurgency opens up on his actions.
I could remember around 2014-15, there are about 38,000 people living in Kukareta. That time the state government started bringing trampoline inside the town, outside. We make a camp for them. The camp is there. Gradually, when we see just people are shitting at any time, becoming another thing. That's why I still went down there to the local government to start advising them that we can be able to sacrifice our floats, our palm to these people if they can come and demarcate it to give them as a float for them to start it. Okay. If so, it's good, it's good. We just started dividing them, everybody, 60-40, to give it. By 40%, they will give you a float in the field of compensation, and later on, the remaining one, that 60%, we can give it to everybody, those who can be able to stay. And later on, even that time, they don't have even the material for building. They don't have it. So United Nations Refugees High Commission has come and give it to about 300 people for them, zinc, cement, plywood, all this one. And later on, this has started coming. And later on, still I went back to the state government for another assistance. CSDP. That CSDP has come here and started building another houses for individual. That's about 80 houses CSDP has already built it. When you go around, I will show you the houses individually. That one, at least when you have around 50,000, they can be able to build your house. That 50,000 is only for you to buy a zinc roof and so forth, and that is it. So those are some of the people they started getting. But we still have people in local government are like Borno, in Borno State, Konduga local government, Damboa local government, Kaga local government. All these people, there are many of them, the people. All of them, they are here.
Now the number of the displaced who found home in Kukareta are twice the number of its original inhabitants. Many of the displaced have moved from tents to homes. Wakil took us to his house where he's breathing a new life for his family.
da yaran gonari da na makocinmu da Kaba da na in area namu duka sun shiga Boko Haram.
Young boys from neighboring villages and communities have joined the Boko Haram movement. They now joined forces and began to attack us. After several attempts to persuade us to be part of them, they killed our children. And when we saw that they have overpowered us, we all began to flee our villages and ended up at Kukareta, and we have been here for 9 years now.
Children being childish, homemakers pounding out precious molds of renewable energy.
We are preparing charcoal, the kind of charcoal which is environmentally friendly. Some NGOs came here and trained us, and since we have started producing this charcoal, we have said goodbye to smoke and no more cutting trees in the bush, and our children have stopped going to the bushes and now have concentrated in their schooling. And again, we have stopped experiencing health challenges like asthma and knives diseases that can be caused by smoke.
From Kukareta, we set out to Potiskum.
Potiskum is no doubt the busiest city in Yobe State. Walking through one of the streets they call Sokal here, will be confronted by your left and right workshops, parks of trucks that are all involved in the movement of goods and services to and from different cities across Nigeria, and this shows that this city has been in business for a very long time.
People doing what they know how to do best, with the most vulnerable picking their sources of livelihood. Here I took interest in the people's addiction to the business of haulage, which has become a tradition.
We have the experience of different kind of trucks. If I can tell you the different kind of trucks that we have, we have been using, at least you will get no less than 20. Being this business, many of us have inherited it from their grandparents, down to us as of now. So that we used to board them from different countries, Germany, Japan, Holland, and others. And being as we have the idea, we know how to manage each and every one. This association, it helps us because we used to share ideas about the business, and many of us understand how to gather ourselves, discuss the challenges that we have, and find the way out to develop our business. Because transportation, it has many challenges, so that if you do not unite yourself, it will become very difficult for you to run the business. But through the organization, we have achieved a lot, because we used to sit down, rub our minds, find the way out to make a very good business. Because we have been dealing with different companies, different dealers, so that if we do not share ideas, we will get a lot of challenges in the market. by freezing the flat rate, the rate of the transportation, because if we do not unite ourselves, we can't get the same idea to carry goods from here down to Lagos. We used to share idea, we carry it at the same price, even if there is interval, it will not high.
Because of the wildfire growth of the business of haulage in Potiskum, maintenance becomes imperative. So every twist and turn you make leads you to a truck garage. Its mechanics or those who broke boundaries in the fabrication of different kinds of truck bodies.
I started this work when I saw my friends learning the job. I began gradually until I became a job man and subsequently my own boss, with more than 20 people under me. And you know, the people of Potiskum have long been in the business of haulage. Those days, the businessmen usually go to Jos for repairs and body building of trucks. Then some renowned mechanics in Potiskum began to repair and build the bodies of trucks. And those businessmen stopped going to Jos. Now we are experts, and the owners of those trucks don't have to go to elsewhere anymore.
sai muka zo mu kenan mu yara sai muka zo muka shiga ciki da muka shiga ciki sai muka zo mu ma muka koya to kaga yadda abin ya zo shine kaga yanzu ba sai an je Jos ba komai muna iya yin sa anan.
Yobe is indeed walking its work from marathon to 100 meters in its race to free its people from the chain of poverty and brainwash. A final bell from one primary school in the state gives you an idea of how fast education is being used to counter the devil's narrative, especially on the girl child.
Being built, we have mega schools and model schools. It might interest you to know that one of the secondary schools here in Kara has 14,000 students. So education-wise also people are going to school, and we must congratulate the efforts of the governor to see that normalcy has returned and economic activities has resumed. So I think this, with all these factors, has made you to notice that everybody is going about his business unhindered. So we must thank the government for their efforts. And also, Potiskum has one of the, is a commercial center of Yobe State. There is the population. So that has also contributed to the economic activities.
With the delirium of fear off their minds, the abandoned farmlands are popping out grains and nuts. The markets becoming vibrant, with the swords sheaths and the knives doing the needful. Great institutions of learning focusing on agriculture puts the state an edge ahead of its consumption needs. The people are indeed testing the honey of quality health care from top to bottom, with child and maternal care a top priority, owing to stagnations arising from insurgency.
out of the 178 wards, focal primary health care centers, so far 138 have been completed. And the infrastructure was done in line with the minimum standards of primary health care in Nigeria that was given by the National Primary Health Care Development Agency. One very laudable thing that was achieved in this was the fact that there are certain communities where they didn't have these primary health care centers, but all of a sudden they now had a standard primary health care center that has about 13 rooms, together with the commensurate the equipment that were also needed for them to provide services. In addition to that, the service package, that is the type of services that are provided, I mean, all the others have also been upgraded to provide secondary services. Again, to ease access to tertiary health care services, the government also upgraded some general hospitals into specialist hospitals. These include the specialist hospital in the general hospital in Portisco, which was upgraded to a specialist hospital, the one in Gashua, the one in Gaidam, the one in Bunyadi. This is in addition to the one here in Damaturu. It is not only upgrade by nomenclature, it is also matched by upgrade with the facilities and equipment. And as such, the laboratories were upgraded to provide tertiary lab services, from chemistry to hematology to microbiology, and then of course the radiology, 4D ultrasound scan machines. There were also digital X-ray machines in all, and then in addition to that, electronic medical records were also put in place in those facilities. In addition to that, government of His Excellency also went into partnership with some tertiary institutions, federal tertiary institutions like the ones in Maiduguri, Gombe, Nguru, Azare, even as far as Kano, and we had this relationship where specialists come to the state, to these specialist hospitals, because since they are called specialist hospitals, you must have specialists that will come and provide specialized services.
The wildfire of the impact of global warming has also hit the state below its belt, leaving roads and bridges collapsing. The State Emergency Agency says it's not folding its arms, but up and doing.
Of course, His Excellency is mindful of the need to respond to the flood of victims, irrespective of where they are and what type of disaster has been affecting them. Over the years, SEMA has been transformed by the mandate of His Excellency and through his vision of making it more digital, more people-oriented, and people-centered. So much such that the time it takes for us to respond to disaster has been reduced to the barest minimum. Less than 24 hours, we'll respond, evacuate victims immediately to the hospital, treat them free, look at the needs of the victim, conduct assessment concurrently, and respond to their needs. So vis-a-vis, these are some of the responses. And natural disaster comes in, and of course, agencies like SEMA need to be proactive. In May 2022, when we briefed His Excellency on the forecast and reports of NIMET and other national agencies that gives prediction of flood outlook and other things, His Excellency directed that the agency should be repositioned and remain alert in case of emergency, and also advise those that are at high risk to relocate, and also ensure that we mobilize resources to respond. Of course, we are alert, but unfortunately, this 2022 flood, the magnitude came very high, and it's global, not just local, and it comes with a lot of new dimensions. Areas that have not seen flood for like 60 years have witnessed flooding. Roads have been disconnected, but that does not stop governance from responding. Immediately after any disaster, we respond. We ensure that victims are not trapped. Those that are trapped, we ensure that we evacuated them. We make sure that they will provide alternative routes to access and provide life-saving support to to the victims. We call UN partners, NGOs on table. We presented our gaps and they started keying in. The magnitude is increasing. There are still worse cases, especially in areas of Jakusko, going down to Bursari, Tarmua, Gaidam, Gujba. There are a lot of some cases, but we hope in the coming few days it will reduce. But the prediction is not encouraging. NIMET is still showing some alerts, and we're encouraging high-risk communities to relocate.
Yobe has seen the good, bad and the ugly, but it is out a conqueror with a lamp lighting the path of progress.